Spies. Saboteurs. Assassins. We've all done terrible things on behalf of the rebellion.
Can I thank you for casting so many Brits?
I have cast 190 speaking parts in the first 12.
And 90.
190, more than that, 190 something actors have spoken and are on screen. Yeah,
That's what an achievement.
Right? No, I mean, it's not like a test, but yeah, no, but that's Nina Gold and
I mean, legend.
Yeah, she's our superpower on our show as much as anything else.
I know you told me the story before, but I want to hear the words again. What are the 4 words he said to you when you knew you got the gig?
Welcome to Star Wars. And I was like, what? What do you... And he bro, I mean, maybe people don't know, but when you go through an audition process, it is, especially for Star Wars, there's so many people that have to have an opinion of whether he can hire me or not, and so many approval things that has to go through, and there's lawyers and agents and this whole thing. And he just decided to cut everybody and go, you're it. And he's like that about everything.
That's an amazing audition story. Have you got anything that went slightly south, or what are your other good audition stories where it's a bit like, oh, and then I ended up with a job?
I have one that I did for Life of the Party where I did this. I keep wearing my shirt backwards, or I'll wear different socks to sort of feel like I've already messed up. I'm like, I've already messed up.
That's a really good idea. Your shoe's on the wrong foot. Okay.
On the wrong foot, and someone will point at it and be like, oh, you're, and I was like, oh, I'm glad they caught it. That way I already messed up in their eyes. Then
right.
I'm good. I could feel free. And I did it for Life of the Party, and Melissa found it to be like, and I did the audition, and I saw it in her face going like, oh, that was interesting. And then she realized my shirt was backwards and called me back into the room. Oh. And then we did it again, and she just found it. She's like, oh, so you are kind of quirky and weird, like this character. And I was like, I know I am.
Who was the worst at breaking? Because this is a grown-up show. It's grown-up Star Wars. Serious issues. We're talking rebellions. We're talking fascists. But there must have been someone on set who just couldn't deliver the Star Wars gobbledygook and just laughed.
Me!
Yep.
You! Yeah, so, okay. So my moment, my first line in the whole thing, my first scene that we shot
was hello.
Was hi, and I couldn't do it.
Was your character's name.
So I had to say, I need a multi-sector data blend going back 2 years. The survey pool is Imperial naval bases and repair facilities. I need a list of all missing comm, navigation, and targeting equipment.
Can somebody put a beat on that?
On the day, I said, I need a we can take that again. I need a multi-sector. Oh, okay, I can't do it. And so then I studied it. Because the morning after, I woke up like this. I need a multi-sector data blend going back 2 years. The survey pool is Imperial naval bases and repair facilities. So I left that as a voicemail on Ben's phone and said, I'm just going to kill myself now. That's the end of that.
I love seeing how the little tiny moments of Rogue One are attacked here. And, you've done despicable things. We're going to see what they are, I'm sure. Was that also a joy, seeing how they kind of solve that puzzle?
It is important to understand why a rebellion, it's built, and why that articulation happens is because you have to understand what life was like in times of oppression and in times of where in those dark times where the Empire had complete control. Oh. You have to understand what life is like. And I love that Tony goes like, let's do a very realistic show of what that life looks like. Mm-hmm. Yes, you go from the big moments of action and adventure, explosions, the big scope that Star Wars brings always. But then you go very deep into the intimacy of a character, and you realize what is that life with no freedom, and you understand why someone would be willing to do what they do.
Look, you got the money, I got the box. What else is there to talk about?
I'll give you another 1,000 credits to tell me how you got it.
Another 1,000.
Done. How?
You just walk in like you belong.
Takes more than that, doesn't it?
What, to steal from the Empire? What do you need? A uniform, some dirty hands, and an Imperial toolkit. They're so proud of themselves, they don't even care. They're so fat and satisfied, they can't imagine it.
Can't imagine what.
That someone like me would ever get inside their house, walk their floors, spit in their food, take their gear.
What was it like calling up Stellan Skarsgård and saying, look, I've got a role for you? Because he's one of my favourites.
It was such a short list to play that part. It's very scary because if you don't get, there's a couple people, and if you don't, and Beau Willimon, who was on the show, I worked for him on House of Cards, and he came in for me on this and this, and Beau was just banging on Stellan right from the very beginning. He's so delightful. He's such a he's got a lot of pixie dust behind all that gravitas.
So well said.
So I did have the privilege to have a scene with Stellan. And man, oh man, was that embarrassing. I fell flat on my face.
You actually fell?
Yeah, I was like at a bar, and
Were you wearing your shoes the wrong way around?
No, I wasn't. Not in this case. Not in this case. He was like walking, and I had to like sort of run and catch up with him. And there was like a bunch of pebbles and Ferrix. Again, where Ferrix was a real city.
Yeah.
And it was just, I was in the elements, and my foot slipped. It was a first take, and I went full, like, right on my face. And Stellan kept walking because there was so much going on that he sort of didn't realize that I was on the floor. And he like looked at me and he's like, oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, yes, I'm fine. Let's go again. And I like brushed off the gravel. And the director's like, you need to go back to hair and makeup. You are a mess. And I was like, no, I'm good to go again. I'm like, man.
Who has the best Stellan Skarsgård anecdote? Because I just heard from Adria that she fell flat on her face.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
Right in front of him.
Yeah.
Because I'd have just walked in and gone, tell me a story about being great.
Well, I went to dinner. We had dinner one night, and I said, I really hope we get to do something next year. Like, maybe I could torture you or something. And he said, I'd love that.
Yeah.
That would be great. Who do we talk to about that?
Genuinely up for anything.
Yeah.
You're really getting into this fascist role if you're trying to like
Listen,
crowbar in some torture.
No. I have been in the fascist role for a long time.
It's
It's
also
just
very
finally somebody is seeing it.
It's also a very slippery slope.
Very slippery.
It's very seductive
Yeah.
and very, very easy to lean into.
I'm going to be a nightmare.
Yes.
Just tell your agent I
Going
only
to
want
be.
to wear knee-high boots.
Yeah.
For all of
Already
my
There are a lot of
done.
pluses. You see? The fashion.
Yeah,
You
the
know?
fascist fashion.
Oh,
Fast fascist fashion. There's a tongue twister.
Okay, we need to get
Fast
like
fashion.
an Etsy store. We need a side hustle
fashion,
for our
fascist,
fascist
fascist
fashion.
Have you ever Comic-Conned?
Not yet. I did go to this year when we released the trailer for Andor. I went and stood on stage with Tony and Diego, Kathleen Kennedy, and Sana, our producer, at what was called
Star
a
Wars
Star Wars
Celebration.
Celebration. And that's the first time I've ever experienced energy on that level.
Thousands of people all just going,
It was, it's a wall of positive energy that you wouldn't want to get addicted to.
are there ever any moments, because you're shooting the second series later this year, where you can't do stunts because it's too big a risk for the insurers?
I think in Rogue One I broke a rib without noticing.
Hey, come on, that's pretty cool.
There's a moment where they jump to the tower and I remember jumping to the tower and hitting myself here. And I think I had a little, very little and small fracture there for quite a while. But it was worth it.
Yeah, of course. It's a war.
And I can't prove it, because
it's all gone now.
I didn't tell anyone, so there's no proof of it.
So I was wondering, and I love this question, are there any particular British turns of phrase, things that only we say, that you love or stick in your mind?
The right that you end every sentence with. I sort of have added it to my own. I'm like, oh, it's a nice day, right? Or like, it's a right. You just
We check it in.
You check it in.
Yeah.
But it also like brings someone back into a conversation. Always, you're like, did I lose you?
Right.
Right. Also, the sense of humor. The sense of humor. I missed it so much when I got back home. I was so like,
Where's
all my
the
friends were like,
where's
"What
the
is
constant
wrong with
sarcasm?
you?" Yeah, what's wrong? Why is everyone taking themselves so seriously?
Why aren't you constantly insulting each other?
Yeah.
Come on,
Why aren't you
guys.
funny? Be funny.
Your friends must have loved that. Oh, you.
You're not funny anymore
Be
to me.
funny. What a shame.
Be more English.
Everyone has something to say about Star Wars, and that's something that just happened to me with this show. I can't compare it to any other show. Like there's people that don't give a fuck about who I am, and suddenly someone says like he's in Star Wars, and you go like, what? You're in Star Wars, but they don't even know when, why, how. But Star Wars means a lot, and that again can't be compared to any other job. It's such a beautiful feeling to be part of something that means so much to so many. You know,
I just want people to say to you, thank you so much for getting those plans to Leia.
Mhm.
We're so grateful. Really appreciate it.
I mean, you should tell Jean, but yeah.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to keep up to date. You can listen to my Radio 1 movies and TV podcast, Screen Time, on BBC Sounds. And you can find these interviews in full on BBC iPlayer by searching Movies with Ali Plum.